Welcome back, my friends! Welcome to another episode of Flute Tip of the Week. For those of you who follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you know that I had a major life event happen this week. I can now say my relationship status is Alto Flute. Yeah, that's right, I got my new Alto Flute yesterday! I'm so happy! I've been waiting for this for ages. It's an Eva Kingma Alto with quarter tone system and open holes, and it was made so that I can fit my hands. Because I've got baby hands that were made for the Piccolo, and I can't even play an inline flute because my third finger doesn't reach the G key. So this week, on Flute Tip of the Week, I am going to be giving a demonstration of a tip that I gave about a year ago so that I'm able to both use my new baby, and also it's a very good way to remind yourself to relax and that you can still have Brave New Worlds within the same repertoire. So let's get to it. If you're having relationship problems with the flute, try playing your repertoire on a piccolo or an alto flute. This will feel like brand new territory, it'll be a little bit more exciting, and also it'll really help you adapt how you're playing your flute based on the different needs of the alto and the piccolo. Now I say both instruments because I know that a lot of people aren't lucky enough to have both a piccolo and an alto flute. You can get the same kind of change doing just the piccolo or just the alto flute in relation to your flute. The piece I'll be using as an example for this will be an excerpt from Fantasy Brillante from themes from Carmen. I'm playing this with my guitarist right now, and I think one of the tunes from here would be a very good demonstration. First, I'm going to play it on my regular flute, and let's just listen to how it sounds now. Let's just jump right onto alto flute. Now please know I'm not transposing anything, so it's going to be just played as it's written on the page in relation to the alto flute. So it is going to be a slightly different key, but it still gets the job done. Feels really relaxing playing it on alto flute after the flute, except for when you're in that middle register, because basically any alto flute you play, it's always going to be a little bit iffy getting really quiet articulations there. So it's a good practice for that, especially using this little motif. Let's jump to piccolo now. I immediately had to use a lot less air, and it was more about the direction and the support of the air than the amount and the shape of the embouchure. Since the piccolo is such a smaller instrument than both the flute and the alto flute, it doesn't need as much altering in your face to make a huge change. Basically, the smallest amount you do on the piccolo, you're still going to get lots of results. Okay, now that we've done both on the alto flute and the piccolo, let's go back to the flute and see how it's changed. So now that I've played it on two instruments where this isn't necessarily the best space for them to be written, the flute now feels very comfortable there, and it feels a lot more natural to be playing this. If you find that you're having a little bit of difficulty playing something with the same amount of expression that you really need to, but maybe you've been playing it for a long time, or perhaps you have a lot of performances of the same thing and it's starting to get a little boring, doing something like this can be super helpful. And it's not just for being able to see what you need to do for your airspeed support and just the shape of like your body, your fingers, your support and everything like that, but also it kind of opens it up in a new way. You're starting to look at this piece slightly differently. It becomes a lot more like returning home when you do play it again on the flute. So again, that tip was if you're having relationship issues with the flute, try playing your repertoire on the piccolo or alto flute. This will make the piece feel like exciting new territory. I hope you find this week's tip helpful. A lot of it was because I really wanted to be able to use my new baby, but also this was one of the Twitter versions of my flute tip of the week that I'd done quite well in the past. So I figured now was as good a time as any to be able to demonstrate it. Remember to subscribe and you'll be able to catch all of this fluty gloriousness every week. Flute happy, find the new territory, and keep loving your flute or the alto or the piccolo. This is a test. This is a test. This is pretty much a test. I'm making sure that things are a test and I'm making sure it's working the best.